Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome everyone to the Goblins live show. I hope you're all doing well. We've got a very interesting but quite a sad show for you today, unfortunately, regarding an article on MCN about a father protecting his son who had a motorcycle and was unfortunately murdered because of how loud it was. And we all know the irony of that, because loud pipes are supposed to save lives as opposed to, well, the opposite. So, yeah, we're going to discuss that in today's show. We're going to discuss today's events as well, because a lot has happened here in the UK today. Things always seem to happen on Thursdays. Have you noticed that?
Just for us to be able to talk about.
I know. All these things that happen on Thursdays. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, are you ready, wifey?
Yes.
All right, let's roll that intro. How you doing, wifey?
I'm okay.
You all right?
I'm still full of cold, but I'm better than I was. So
You're not full of cold.
I feel full of cold.
I think you're being I think you're much better than you were.
Oh no, I am.
This time last week.
Yeah, but I've still got like the cough and the nose and stuff. So.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, no, I'm okay now, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I think one of the videos that's going to be coming out either on Friday or on Monday. I recorded it when I had my cold.
And you were poorly.
And I was editing it today, and there's a bit where I go like that. And I go, oh, sorry, guys, you really don't want to see that, do you? Or hear that?
You're so elegant.
So, yeah, you've got that to look forward to. How it ill sounds. But no, I'm feeling a lot better now, thankfully. But, yeah. Big day today.
Got my car back, you're right. It's a big day. Did something else go on? Did something else happen?
Well, I mean, we could talk about your car, actually.
Yeah?
So the wifey's car, it's a Honda Civic, and it had this issue in the winter last winter, where the alarm would go off. And this is one of the newer model Honda Civics. It's not like the latest one. It's the generation before. The one that looks like a transformer.
Yeah.
And
it's like a muscle car, right, isn't it?
Yeah. And basically what would happen is that if you would open your car, and this would only happen during cold days, where you'd unlock the car, you'd open it, and an alarm would go off inside the car. And we got it. Well, it was under warranty at the time, so we sent it back to Honda and said, look, there's a problem with the alarm system.
Something isn't right.
And they reset the error codes and they reset the alarm basically. But then a few weeks ago, the same thing happened again, and it wasn't even a remotely cold night either. It was probably like 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, so it wasn't that cold. And this issue came back again. So
it's important to stress it's not the alarm, it's a alarm.
Yeah.
Because the lights aren't going off.
Yeah, and there's no way to turn it off.
No.
You can start the car, you can unlock all the doors, you can turn off the motion sensor, you can do all those things, and the alarm still won't go off. The car's got to warm up a little bit.
And the only way to get it, and it's the most embarrassing thing, is driving it.
It's to drive it.
For about 10 minutes. So I'm driving along, and I'm saying to you, like, because you were driving in front of me, weren't you?
Yeah, and I could hear it.
Can you hear my car? And I've got a really horrible fear. Someone's going to, like, call the police one day and be like, this car alarm's going off, someone's obviously stolen it. And I'm like, it's my car.
Yeah.
My car. So we took it back to Honda, didn't we, for them to have a look at it.
Yeah. Well, we got the car back this afternoon, and they've basically done the same thing that they did last time, but they're wondering if it didn't take last time or something. But the worry that we had was that the car isn't under warranty anymore, and so we were like, well, you said you fixed it last time, and you didn't.
No, you're going to charge me loads of money to look at it.
Yeah, because they were saying about charging a £75 inspection fee.
Yeah.
And that's before any money goes towards actually fixing the issue.
Yeah. So
But
I'm sitting there just like anxiety all day, thinking, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna like charge us."
well, I mean, I made the point up front that this should have been fixed under warranty, and it hasn't. So you should honour it, and they have. To be fair, the garage did honour it. So and they did say as well that if the issue comes back again, because we got all the winter months still to come, so this will be the ultimate test of whether or not the
Yeah.
fix actually worked.
It's actually going to do its thing.
They said that to bring it back, and they'll actually get a Honda tech to come and look at it. But
because it shouldn't be doing it,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's the drama with the wifey's car. But apart from that, yeah, the biggest news of the day. Sorry.
Something else happened this week.
Oh yeah, what's that?
And I know I've only done it once, but I went out for my first solo ride.
It wasn't solo. It wasn't your first one. You've been out on your own before.
No, not like that, I haven't.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I'm sure you have.
That was my first one.
Okay.
Big deal for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, helps with confidence, doesn't it? When you
Yeah.
haven't got someone like me badgering you
I
about all the things you're doing wrong.
I came back with some questions, didn't I?
Yeah.
But
I mean, the thing is, I mean, you make a good point because, I mean, the wifey's experience of riding has always been with someone else, with me or what have you. But the way how everyone learns to ride a motorcycle is actually on their own.
like when you pass your test, that's like your
Yeah.
driving test. That's when you start to learn.
That's when you actually
when you
start
haven't got
learning.
someone who can like stop the car.
Exactly, and
as
I
well.
think this is the same thing
So-
here.
But sorry, something else you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I mean, I think everyone's probably heard by now about we have lost yet another prime minister.
To be fair, she gave it a good try for 45 days.
Well, the funny thing is that she caused her own downfall.
Didn't she just?
That's what I mean. It's mental. It's mental. It's just UK politics at the moment. It's just an absolute shambles. You can't, in a time when you need
Stability.
stability, a stable government, someone who's going to
Continuity.
steady the ship, and then instead, they just pour petrol on the fire. It's ridiculous.
And then
man.
laugh and rub their hands as it goes up in flames.
And then they blame everyone else for the problems. It's like,
There's-
no, the issues here are because of your direct actions.
I
Anyway.
think
Anyway.
what's the funniest thing though, maybe just to the last point, was watching Prime Minister questions
Yeah.
and then watching the resignation, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, that was it. Because
they're
was it?
completely contradictory of each other.
It was PMQs yesterday, and Liz said, she said, I'm a fighter, not a quitter. And then literally
Yeah.
the day after, she quits.
But she also went, I'm delivering, I've made promises and I'm delivering and I'm doing this, and then she turned around today and said, I cannot deliver on the manifestos, and I'm like,
Yeah, I can't deliver on
either
what I
you
promised.
Either you
Yeah.
can or you can't.
Just
like,
a bunch of lies. But
Yeah, but that was fun yesterday watching Mr. Speaker. Big up Mr. Speaker.
yeah,
He's fun.
Mr. Speaker's great. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name, but yeah, he's
That's
he's
what they call him,
ruthless,
so-
absolutely ruthless.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
But-
Even though he's an ex-Conservative MP, he just rinses anyone.
What was
It's
it?
just really funny.
He said something that you quite, not yesterday, but the time before you watched him. And he
Yeah,
said something
it was
you
another
liked.
Prime Minister's questions, and Liz Truss was trying to say something. I can't remember his exact words, but everyone started laughing at her, and the Speaker of the House stood up and said something along the lines of, I actually want to hear what the Prime Minister has to say, even if her own party don't want to, or something
Yeah.
like that, something to that effect. And I was like, oh my God.
But it was like yesterday where he
He
said,
said, like you were saying, because he's supposed to be impartial.
Yeah.
But when he says things like that, it just makes you laugh, man.
yeah. It's
hilarious.
like when he said to someone yesterday, you could be next in line or something. I can't remember exactly what he said.
Oh, yeah. No, he said, yeah, because I think MPs cheered. I can't remember who it was, but they cheered for someone.
When he stood up.
When he stood up and then said, "You might have a career."
Yeah. They like you. Yeah.
Yeah, they like you. You might have a career.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So watch this space, I guess, as to what
But I
happens
mean,
next.
the sad part about all this is that it's causing problems. Like we
Massively.
can laugh about it, but
Yeah.
it's not a game. It's something that is actually happening, and it's something that's affecting everybody. So
Yeah.
we got another waiting game with another prime minister. See how they can mess up the country even more and take more from our wallets.
Do you know what?
We'll
Emigrating
see. We'll
seems
see.
so much more appealing right now.
We'll see. But I mean, that's the thing. Traditionally, the UK is, in terms of politics, is pretty stable for the most
the thing
part.
is, though,
The fact that in 5-6 years we've been through how many prime ministers? 5 or 6 prime
it's not
ministers?
just
One a
that.
year.
It's not just that instability. It goes hand in hand with the Queen dying.
I know.
So there's so much
Yeah.
instability happening
It's
right now.
a lot of things happening at the wrong time. A lot of bad things happening at the wrong time. So, yeah, I just wish that Liz Truss had a bit more foresight, you know, and instead of rolling out just, something like a bombshell just to take things a little bit easier. But that's the thing, they don't have enough time. They've only got a couple of years before the next election. So I suppose she probably felt backed up against a wall.
So when Queen Liz died, she'd had something like, she had a ridiculous amount of it, like prime ministers, hadn't she? She'd had like 15 or 17 prime ministers.
Yeah, well,
At this rate,
over 70 years, wasn't it?
At this rate, Charles is going to have more than her.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Anyway.
Oh, dear. Anyway, yeah, so, again, something else that's crazy that happens on a Thursday,
Yeah.
I just think is insane.
I mean, we're not turning into a political channel, but it's just interesting to talk about, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when it's something that is quite big, something big happens, you know.
So, yeah.
I feel like we should address it. I don't know why.
You can't ignore it.
No.
It wouldn't be right to ignore it.
So we'll see what happens, but yeah, there's rumours about Boris Johnson particularly potentially running as the leader again. I'm not so sure about that, but anyway, we'll see how else the party can shoot themselves in the foot, eh?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they vote in Boris Johnson again? God, what a nightmare. The same party that booted him out. Now they're like, no, please come back.
Really sorry, Bojo. We made a problem. Like we made a mistake. Did you fancy coming back?
Absolute madness. But anyway, yeah, we digress. Yeah, we're not experts in politics, so we're just observers. But anyway, so I think, yeah, today's show is going to be, what's the word? Kind of mellow. In a way, because it's kind of really sad that someone would be willing to do something so devastating over something so trivial. And I mean, I think it kind of does highlight the way how people feel about noise.
Yeah.
So I think it's a real thing, and I do understand this. Noise pollution and all that, I get it. We all want to live in nice, peaceful, quiet neighborhoods, and unfortunately that's not always the case. Where we live in particular, you hear so many cars just barreling down the road. Well, no, actually, no, they're not even going that fast.
They're just loud, aren't they?
But they're just really loud, and these are like Vauxhall Corsas.
They've been modified or something, haven't they?
And even the bikes, some of the bikes that you get down here as well are just ridiculously loud.
Like every morning, and it's just the nature of the bike, I think. Every morning at about 6:30, I hear at the lights a Harley.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah.
And then every evening at about 5:30, I hear it coming back down the road.
Well, there's a particular car. I think it's a Nissan 350Z. I think that they must live around here or something like. Because I've heard them here. I've heard them in other parts of where we live, and the same car. It's the exact same car, and it has the exact same sound. But every single time they get the opportunity just to rev it out a little bit, they will. Like, we live on a straight, and so everyone just starts going, you know, they really start
from
pushing
the lights.
Yeah, from the lights.
It's like
they
a
start
drag race, isn't it?
Pushing the red line as quickly as they can. And, I mean, yeah, it's frustrating. And the thing is, I can't say anything because the ZZR is a very loud motorcycle. It's the loudest motorcycle I've ever had. But I do try to ride it with some level of respect, as in whenever I'm in residential areas and things like that, I try not to rev the snot out of it.
Rev the snot
out of it.
Never
You've not heard that phrase before? Yeah, rev the snot out of it. In places where people could get, you know, offended or what have you. Because I mean, the thing is, you've got to think about it in sort of relative terms. I mean, imagine if it's an older person that you're riding past, an old person's house, you know. They're not going to appreciate that. If people are asleep, they're not going to appreciate that. People with children, with babies, you know, they start crying. You've just got them to sleep, and then all of a sudden, just this this bike goes past, revving, you know, to hell and back, and you know, the kid wakes up and starts crying. So I do understand that noise can be an issue. And it's something that I've actually mentioned before, I think, in another video recently about how, it was the video about rider etiquette and all that stuff, where if you're going to modify your bike and you're going to get a nice sounding exhaust on it, you don't have to go too far with it. You know, loud pipes save lives, but they only have to be loud enough that cars around you can hear you. That's it. They don't have to be loud, so loud that, you know, houses for miles can hear you. It's just
Hear it coming.
It's a bit ridiculous. And so, as much as I understand that this is an issue, I still don't condone the actions of this person. I don't think anyone would. But anyway, we'll show you the article if I've got it set up correctly here. Nope, that's us. Here we go. I'll move this over here. Here we go. So yeah, man who killed neighbor over motorcycle noise is sentenced. So we've read through the article, but we're not entirely sure exactly what the circumstances are, because I just skim read the article. The wifey's read it in a bit more detail than I have, but I assumed that it was the owner of the motorcycle that was killed, but it wasn't, was it?
It was the son, the father. So
yeah,
basically, the crux of this is, and it doesn't really go into much of the backstory, but it says that the guy who killed this person went over and started threatening the father, and so the father got on the phone with the police, was like, he's threatening me with a knife, and at that point this guy started stabbing him and then turned on his wife. The son, so you saw the picture of the guy who's got his cut, the son did that to him because he was like, you know, get off my dad, sort of thing.
Yeah,
but it was all because he was annoyed that the bike was loud, and that's literally it. There was no, from understanding, there was no like
it's in the UK, by the way.
Yeah,
this article is in the
north,
UK.
well, up north from us.
Well, no, it's Norwich.
Is that not up north?
No, it's east.
Well, it's up east then. There didn't seem to be any sort of previous conversation or anything around it. From reading this, like I said, there's not much information given.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think the thing is, this could happen to anyone, and the trigger could be anything. But it just so happens to be that the trigger in this instance was this motorcycle in question. And yeah, it's really sad.
It's because the son revved the engine. That was it.
Yeah, literally, that was it.
That was it. There is now. I'm not.
It wasn't even just the loudness of the motorcycle; it's because he revved it.
I'm not actually gonna show this because I do think it will actually get told off by YouTube. But there is, if you search the guy's name, there is actually footage of him getting arrested and all of this kind of transpired and what's happened.
Yeah.
So
it's horrendous.
It's because the father and his son have been working on their motorbikes.
Yeah. Okay. So the father is a rider as well, then clearly.
Yeah. The son revved the motorbike, which annoyed this guy. He then started apparently making hand gestures at the son and the father. At that point, they had a row, and then this guy went and got a knife and a saw.
And a saw? Jesus.
Yeah, and then whilst on the phone, he started being attacked. So yeah, that was it. And then, I mean, that's the Cliff Notes version of it. I don't really want to go into more detail.
Well, I think it was quite a big article anyway, because I mean, well, I don't know about you guys, but I actually saw it come through in my feed on Google. Because well, if you have an Android device anyway, you get articles come through from Google about certain points of interest for news and what have you, and this came through for me. But this article is about him being sentenced. I remember when it came out about the actual event happening.
Yeah, but by the looks of it, this guy, the guy who killed this other guy, got annoyed at him previously because he put rubbish in a neighbour's bin. So he doesn't seem...
Okay. So he probably has some kind of instability somewhere. But yeah, it's really sad. And I know that people can get very frustrated by even just small things, but something that is an issue. I think it's easy for it to get the better of you, I think.
Yeah, it's just sad, isn't it? That it's...
Yeah, because we when lives get lost for no reason, and there's no reason for it. There's no reason. The reasoning is unreasonable, if you know what I mean.
This is the thing.
It's illogical. You don't go murdering people because they rev their engine.
And we only have a snippet.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not saying this is right. I'm absolutely not condoning this at all. But like I said, we only have a snippet. So we've only been told this has happened on this moment after this happened.
Yeah.
So, but it is sad.
Yeah. Thing is, there's not really much more to say about it, and I think just and this applies to everybody. Just try and be respectful of your neighbours, because one, you want to be amicable with your neighbours anyway. God, having problems with neighbours is an absolute nightmare.
Oh, it's like second nature to us at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So with my mum and dad's house as well. They've got problem neighbours. So we know it all too well about having problem neighbours. You don't want to be that problem neighbour, And the thing is, just out of respect and what's the word? Courtesy, you don't want to be that neighbour. But you don't know who lives next to you. You don't know who lives near you. And this is one of the things that I like to teach my students in self-defense classes, is that a lot of the time something is provoked, or something that you do is provocative, which, I don't know, gives you the wrong kind of attention or off the wrong kind of person, and then all of a sudden they attack you for it. And it's a very similar situation here. If you don't draw that attention to yourself to begin with, then there's less of a chance of something like that happening. However, there's nothing to say that this person could have found another excuse to murder this family, or to attempt to murder this entire family.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that it's a motorcycle that is revved that all of a sudden sparks this whatever. But
sorry,
it could have been anything. It could have been anything.
And I think
any trigger.
Because also we got that article from MCN, they're only focusing on that motorcycle-related bit, but there is more to it, isn't there?
Yeah, there always is. There's more of a backstory to it.
Something, if you don't mind me diverting to a different topic.
No, carry on.
Something I found out really interesting today is that since lockdown, right, so everyone's going out and riding, we're at an all-time low for motorcycle accidents. So 10
I saw that.
All-time low.
I saw that. Yeah,
and
that was another article
really
as well.
Impressive, and it says that.
Yeah.
So in 2021, it was 322 riders, unfortunately, lost their lives. In 2020, it was 299. So that's the difference, isn't it? So apparently, it's in the last 10 years, including if you ignore the lockdown, 17,971 are being recorded.
Accidents.
Yeah.
Accidents being recorded.
But it does say, although fatal accidents occur more on 500cc machines or larger, those seriously injured split almost 50-50 between larger capacity machines and those between 51 and 125 cc's.
That's interesting, because I would have thought that the ratio would have been more towards the lower end of the displacement, because obviously, these are kids a lot of the time riding these motorcycles, these 50cc, 125cc bikes. That's when they're going to make the most mistakes. Having said that, there is that small window where you get your full license, you get on a big bike, and all of a sudden you want to know what it's capable of, and that's again where mistakes happen. So no, that's interesting. But I did see that article, and it's really positive.
It is positive.
So I'm hoping that that it's because of the whole attitude around riding a motorcycle is changing, in the sense that you don't need to go all out to enjoy a motorcycle. You can enjoy a motorcycle just by riding it normally, And
that came out yesterday, that article.
Yeah.
So that's up to date.
Yeah.
To now.
So that's really good. No, I did hear about that. So yeah, we've got some positive stuff coming out today, which is good. So thank you for that, wifey.
And also in July, new bike sales are actually on the up.
Well,
Post-pandemic.
they have been on the up since the pandemic started.
But it's saying adventure bikes, 125s, and the new 2022 models are the ones that are selling the most.
Yeah.
So it looks like new bikes are.
I wonder if the sales are going to start dropping massively now because the pound has shrunk because interest rates are higher, so people having to pay more for their mortgages, people having to pay more for their food and their fuel. Because the thing is, I mean, the reason why a lot of these sectors went up, like people were buying cars left, right, and centre during the pandemics because they weren't going on holiday, so they had this disposable income.
Yeah.
But now you wonder whether or not people are going to have that disposable income still.
Because you suddenly saw a surge, didn't you, of
Yeah.
2021, 2020 plates.
And the funny thing is that this all tied into the whole chip shortage thing as well, because the demand skyrocketed for things, for whatever items, and of course the demand grew, but the chip shortage happened. Well, the chip manufacturing was dialed back. I think within a few months though they got it back up to 100%. But because of the spike in demand of people wanting to spend their money on things, they weren't able to keep up, and so we're still suffering from that chip shortage today. But yeah, it's really interesting how this all kind of works out.
So it's saying that over 16,000 125s have been sold, and this original article was in May of this year.
Yeah.
So far, that in this year from May, 16,000 bikes had already been brought. And do you know which the most popular 125 is?
Well, it has to be the Ninja.
It's not.
Is it a CBF?
Nope.
It's not a CBF 125.
Right brand, Ron bike.
Oh, the CBR.
Well, no, it says, unless it's a scooter, and I'm sorry if it is, Honda PCX 125.
I don't know what that is.
It's saying that it is the most popular, being the biggest seller.
PCX 125. Never heard of that one before.
Mid-range bike, so that's the 126 to 650cc, are up by 39%, with the Royal Enfield being 350, being the best seller.
Yeah.
Up to 1,000cc bikes increasing by 37%.
Oh, right. Okay. The PCX 125 is a scooter.
That's why I said it could be a scooter, and I apologize.
It's a scooter.
So the 1,000cc bikes, the best one is a Suzuki GSX S 1000 GT, and electric bike sales.
Wow, that's a tourer.
Yeah.
That's a sport tourer.
Yeah, and it says electric sales are also booming and that up by 68%. But that, I think there still was the chance to have the scheme at that point.
Yeah.
The electric scheme. So that was probably a big seller for some people.
Yeah. And it's gonna continue increasing the electric sales, without a doubt.
Yeah, but
yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting the way how all this is. It's kind of worked out with motorcycle sales. And
the thing I love about MCN is that if you have the article, you can then scroll down and it will do the version before that and the version before that and the version before that. So you can continue to see where it started and actually how it's been. And I really like that.
Yeah.
Because I can go down and find the initial information. Hi, John.
All right, everyone. What we're going to do, we're going to have a quick ad break, and then we'll see what you guys have been saying in the chat. All right. So we'll catch you in a moment. Apart from those of you who are on YouTube Premium. Still need that splash screen. Yeah. Oh, I heard about that. It's a Channel 4 reporter calling an MP a "see you next Tuesday."
Is that not when they tried to call Jeremy Hunt and they said Jeremy something?
It might have been, yeah. It might have been.
And thus his nickname was born.
All right, so yeah, let's have a look, see what you guys have been saying in the chat.
I haven't had any ads come through.
Okay. Yeah. No. I don't think everyone does. That's the annoying thing. I don't think everyone gets the ads coming through. But whatever.
If not, just watch us talk to each other.
All right. 125 guy. How you doing, mate? Mark, how you doing? Who else? Call on. Good to see you, mate. Greg, good to see you as well. Hope you're all doing well. So, Mark, miserable rain all week. Oh dear. We've actually been quite lucky. It's only rained today this week for us, but it's due to rain tomorrow, and I think maybe over the weekend.
Thundering still tomorrow.
I'm not sure.
Ugh.
I haven't checked, but
sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, no, it's not been too bad around here. Luckily for us in the West Country.
Really, baby.
Yeah, 125 guy. Great time to get out and practice wet riding. Yeah, it's not the best experience though, I have to say. Riding in the rain isn't nice.
If you had to take,
if I had to,
no.
Sorry. Yes, go on.
Let me finish the sentence. You'll never win £1 million if you don't hear the whole sentence. If you had to go out on your bike, which one would you prefer to take in the rain?
The
ZZR?
The ZH2.
ZH2.
Yeah, just because the power modes, I'm able to limit the power output to 50%.
Say that again a bit slower, sorry.
The power modes on the ZH2, I'm able to limit the power of the bike to 50%.
Oh, right, okay.
So it makes it just a hell of a lot easier to control in when you're on roads that are really slippery. On the ZZR, even though you get the two power modes, they don't make that much of a difference between the two, really. I mean, I think the difference is 80 and 100%, or 75% power and 100% power between the low and full power modes. I don't know, can't remember, but yeah, the ZH2 is definitely more practical in that sense for riding in bad weather.
I see.
Yeah.
So wait for him to sneeze on me again.
It's funny. Yeah, Mark says he won't take the Z out in the rain. No, I try not to either. And well, I mean, winter's coming anyway, so it's going to be winterized. I'm hoping to keep it running all the way until Christmas, but then after that, it's going to be away for the winter.
If they start gritting the roads, will you still take it out or just wash it when it gets
I
back?
think I will keep taking it out, but I have to keep washing it though. So that's the thing. When they start gritting the roads, if you take your motorcycle out on a ride, just make sure you give it a bit of a rinse off when you get back.
We saw, didn't we, yesterday, was like 4 or 5 gritting trucks.
Yes.
I mean, these massive things, not like gritting lorries, but these things are huge,
Yeah,
weren't
they're getting ready.
4 or 5 of them.
They're getting ready to.
Around here they are. I mean, where you guys are, they might have already had them out.
Yeah.
Especially if
Especially in something like the Lake District and all that. Yeah, you're probably getting much colder weather than we are, so it does make sense. But yeah, Mark, the UK is becoming a laughing stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
I mean, even when Queen Liz died, we started getting these reports of South Africa wants this back and India wants this back. And even then we were like, oh gosh, this is not good.
Well,
and then that happens. So
yeah, it's just typical, isn't it? It's always the same thing. When you need one thing, you always get the opposite in the UK. I don't know what it is, but maybe we're just unlucky or something like that. But yeah, it's true. When you get world leaders getting involved in UK politics, you're like, damn, it's bad. I mean, like the Italians have got it bad at the moment with their politics. I mean, they recently had an election as well, and I think it's some far right party that is now in power. At least they're I think they're part of a coalition in Italy or something like that. But they got it bad, and you're not getting world leaders saying we need Italy to be stable. We're not getting that. People are saying that about the UK.
Didn't you say Joe Biden had a comment or something?
Yeah, Joe Biden said. Well, he had small remarks that he made in public, but yeah, it's just bad, really bad. Well, anyway, hopefully it'll get better with a new prime minister. Fingers crossed. But thing is as well, like I mean, I'm of the opinion that we need a general election now, because clearly the pool of ministers that we've got, there isn't anyone, at least within the Conservative Party, really, that can take control of what needs to be done. So we need like a new wave of ministers to come through to kind of fill up that pool. And there's been too many of the same faces. as well in Parliament. Too many. You know, I mean, how long has Jeremy Hunt been around? You know, how long has Michael Gove been around? Like, come on, we need some new MPs. We need some new blood.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry, this is going slightly.
No, it's all right.
Maybe it's not motorcycle related, but so when King Charles was signing his papers, say I'm King Charles, and they had the Privy Council in, all of the previous Prime Ministers came in because they're part of the Privy Council.
Yes.
As Liz Truss has resigned, is she still part of the Privy Council?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Because Boris Johnson was there.
I don't know how the whole Privy Council thing works, to be honest with
I was
you.
just curious.
I really don't know. You might want to lift up your microphone, sweetie. That's it.
I'm sharing it with the dog.
Yeah, you're going to hear more of the dog.
He was sniffing it a minute ago.
More of the dog noises.
That.
Yeah.
He's having a great time here. Isn't he? Sitting there, see what's going on.
Oh, 125 guy, Ruby. Ruby is it? I was confused for a second about who you were referring to, and then I realised it's the bike. Yeah, okay. So you got a new gearbox on it. Okay. Good. All right. How much did that cost you in the end, mate? Let us know how much that cost you in the end for a CBR 125. Yeah, I'd be curious to know. But what else we got in here? Call on. My FZ1 is named Sapphire. Guess why?
You don't name yours, do you?
No, I don't. I've never ever had the thought of naming my bikes before.
Go on then.
No,
Right now.
no. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, Greg, I'm going through some domestic abuse at the moment. This story hits home. Damn. Well, I hope that gets sorted, mate.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's crazy, man. We live in such a crazy world. And I watched a video, actually, today about the so-called feral child. You probably heard about this. It was quite a famous story. I think the name that was given to this person was Jeannie. Jeannie, you heard? You must have heard.
Carry on. Is this the girl who's in like a chicken coop?
What? Not
in the basement.
In the basement, yeah. She was locked in the basement for.
Studied her as part of my psychology course.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's quite a famous case of neglect and abuse, and it was just horrendous, man, horrendous. I won't go into details about what happened. If you want to look it up, then you could probably just search the feral child and you'll get images and a story of what happened.
There is actually a film out about it.
Yeah.
And there's some things on there, and it's disturbing.
Yeah, it's just how can people? Some of the things that people are capable of doing, you think to yourself, how? You know, what processes were going on in your brain at the time to make you think that was acceptable? It's just, it's awful. But yeah, and funnily enough, no one knows where she is now. Jeannie, she was so she suffered abuse from her father, and obviously neglect because she was kept in this room for 14 years basically. 14 years she's kept in this room, no interaction with anyone else,
she didn't
nothing.
Have basic functions.
Nothing.
She couldn't talk.
No, she couldn't talk. She couldn't see long distance. She could hardly walk. She didn't know how to use the toilet. You know, she had to wear nappies. It's horrendous. But after that, when she was rescued, apparently after, I think she moved from one children's hospital to another or something, and she suffered abuse there as well. And then it was after that where the state just simply took her away. And she's okay apparently, but I mean, she's got to be, in her 50s, 60s now.
Mm.
But because I think she was born in the 1950s. So, yeah, so she's got to be in her 60s or 70s. But she's still in this institute somewhere. And she's being protected, I imagine, because, it's just so sad. But anyway, let's move on from that because that's very depressing.
That's a detour.
Very, very depressing. Oh, Mark, did you like the polo shirt I sent over? Yes, I did, mate. Yeah, thank you. That was really, really kind of you. Mark, was it your wife that printed the shirt? So Mark had a T-shirt printed, and on one of the sleeves he's got the Goblin Rise logo on
No
it.
way.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
awesome.
amazing.
It's
That's so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mark.
That is,
That's
yeah,
it's really kind of you.
that's
Yeah, really
amazing.
appreciate that. Yeah, I mean we're releasing merch has actually been something that I would like to do, but I don't know if we're at that stage yet where it's viable.
We want to get something for ourselves as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We've
So
been
when we're out and about, we're like,
this time
marketing.
last year we were talking about getting hoodies or something done just for us,
yes,
to show off whilst we were out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there are companies like it was Teespring, one of them. I remember Teespring being famous, being popular
Well-known,
on certain social media platforms where someone could order a t-shirt design, and the person who created the design wouldn't make it. Teespring would make it, and they would ship it off for you, and they'd take like a commission or something like that. So it could be something that we could
I think we should look
into for sure.
Especially, I think if we're going to start doing
Yeah.
events and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mark, how are you getting on with Patreon?
Sorry.
It's happening. It's kind of like a side project at the moment. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It's just our time just disappears in a week because we work full time. I run a martial arts gym on the side. I've got this on the side as well. So I'm out and about all the time, and it's just sometimes just trying to find the time to put into another project is just where it's becoming a bit of an issue. But the thing I want to do is I want to have a bit of a library of content on the Patreon. So when people actually sign up to it, they have
There's something
there's immediate gratification there. There's an immediate thank you for supporting
Not
us.
like a coming soon.
And at the moment, we haven't got that. The only thing that we've got is a Discord server, which I'm still in the process of building as well. But that's something that it's just in addition to. So that is coming. I mean, I'm going to try by Christmas to get that sorted, and hopefully we can have some exclusive content on there. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
In the back of our mind, it's fortunately that at the moment, like you say, if one thing happens, a bunch of things seems to happen all at the same time, and you say, you've got your responsibilities with work and everything else as well. So
it's
hard.
It's hard, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
we will get there. It's all just organisation. It's all just motive, and
Well,
and I think but once you get into a routine of doing it and interacting with it, then it'll be okay. It's just a case of getting it up and running.
Yes.
Getting it started,
That's it.
And that takes a bit of effort.
Mm.
Okay, so no ad for you, no ad for Corlan. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I pushed the button. I pushed the ad button, the magic ad button.
We did what we needed to do.
If it were, that's the thing. I actually because I can't see on the live stream whether or not the ads come through. I can't see it, so it's a bit potluck really. But anyway, it doesn't matter. 125 guys. It's always better to practice wet riding, as then if you're caught in a downpour, you know how your bike reacts. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. You definitely want to get to know the bike in every scenario that you should expect. Things like rain, obviously in the UK, is pretty much guaranteed. Almost anywhere you go.
I've not gone out. Sorry, the dog keeps moving this.
Lift it up a bit. That's it.
I've not gone out deliberately to do wet riding, but I've been caught out in the rain before.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, to be fair as well, riding in the rain isn't too different from riding in the dry.
Is it just your stopping distances and stuff?
Well, stopping distances are affected, turning angles are affected as well. But the thing is, if the way how you normally ride is quite reserved, I mean, for me anyway, I ride usually well within margin of error for me. And so when the rain does hit, it's not that much of an adjustment that I need to make. I'm a little bit more aware of the grip and a little bit more aware of, like you said, the stopping distances, but it's not too different for me, even on bigger bikes. A lot of bikes, they act the same way. If you ride them normally, they react the same way in the rain as they do in the dry. So it's just, you just got to look at or be aware of when you're turning, try and keep the bike as upright as possible when you're turning, things like that. you know, the obvious things being on two wheels, you know, that you think about. So, but yeah, I mean that's something that maybe we should get you doing.
Yeah.
As miserable as it will be next time it rains, that might be a good opportunity for you to
Just go out.
get out and just see how the bike feels out in the rain. So yeah, absolutely. The more you get to know your bike, the better for me. Like 125 guy said, you know, if you know what to expect, how your bike's going to react in a certain way in a certain environment, then you're prepared for it.
Yeah. No,
And I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. Oh, call on. The FZ1 rides quite well in the rain. I had a bit of fun in the last downpour. Interesting. I've never ever had a positive experience riding a motorcycle in the rain. It's always been miserable for me. But yeah, I suppose it does depend on the bike. So yeah, that's interesting. Honda Nation, I vote Goblin for president. No, I'm not qualified. I'm absolutely not qualified. Yeah, I'd like to make a difference, but I don't know if politics is the way forward for me. Mark, completely off topic. We've had a new family member in the household, 8-week-old beagle puppy, Pippa. Oh, that's so cool. So cool.
Must have photos for proof.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, so sweet.
Hey,
and it's a beagle.
Do you remember when he was 8 weeks old?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
He's just turned 6.
Yeah, 6 years old.
Last month.
6 years old in September. That's mental.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think we've had him for 6 years.
Yeah, we got him when he was about eight weeks old, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we went to see him, he was literally the size of our hand.
Well, I mean, when we saw the pups, they were born like
days,
a few weeks,
yeah, not
maybe a week before we arrived to have a look. So yeah, and then the little Flinty just sat in the palm of your hand.
Got a picture of it, and
they
were like, "Oh, the dog chooses you," and I was like, "That's nonsense. Like that doesn't exist." And you were there with these two dogs. I'd asked to hold him, and he was like nestling and trying to eat out my hand.
Yeah.
And then he was trying to eat your leather jacket, and we're like, "No, he's the one.
Yeah.
He's a nibbler. We'll have him." And yeah, 6 years on, he just burped on the microphone. That's what you get for 6 years on.
Oh, sweetie.
Yeah, love animals, love dogs.
Love
Beagles
dogs.
are the cutest little things.
Yeah.
I imagine they have like really big ears they grow into.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yeah, because their ears are always like too big for their heads, aren't they? And they've got to grow up a bit to be a bit more
in proportion.
Yeah,
obviously they're not like full size, they're like Dumbo, but
yeah.
You know, they're bigger, funny. Aren't they?
Yeah.
So so cute.
Beagles are sweet though. Fair
Very
play.
Sweet.
125 guy. £400 for the box and engine, £300 labour and transport. Okay, that's not too bad. But I would have been curious about how much a whole new bike would have been, to be honest with you.
But if you look further down, costs another £500-ish for new plastics and screws and bolts and clips, and then £50 for an exhaust. So that's $750.
You need a new exhaust as well. Damn.
150. Is
that
right? Not kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of wondering if maybe you might. I don't know, but whether or not you would be able to scrap it, get some money for scrappage. I don't know how scrappage works on motorcycles. Obviously, you get about £200 or £300 if you scrap a car.
But how would you feel though if that was your bike? Would you be like, if it was like the Honda, and they're going, it's going to cost you $1,250 to get it fixed, you can just scrap it? Yeah. I think you'd want to get it fixed because you loved it.
Well, I'm a bit more practical than that. If something costs more to fix, then it would be just to buy a new one. As bad as that sounds for e-waste and all that, I would prefer to just buy another one because it's less stress, isn't it?
But if it was your only bike and your only mode of transport, then what?
Yeah, I don't know. I would. Well, that's the thing. I say that, but I wonder if you can actually buy a CBR 125R for £1,250. I bet you can't. I bet they cost closer to £2,000.
probably.
So
Or a decent one that's run with an MOT.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, well, that's the experience that we've had recently. Buying any motorcycle at the moment is just ridiculously expensive. Something that just runs and has an MOT is hard to find on the cheap nowadays. So
a lot of them, even just for parts.
So so even though I would be tempted to look at a new bike, I bet you have already, 125 guy. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. Especially because of the plastics and the screw bolts and clips, yeah.
£500, is that steep? Like, I don't know. Is that reasonable?
Depends.
I guess it depends how much as well.
Well, yeah, it depends where it comes from as well. Because wasn't was it Lone Wolf recently? I can't remember if it was on a message on Instagram or if it was a message in the chat here that he mentioned about getting. I think he bought Chinese replica plastics for his Thunder race, and I don't know how much he paid for it, but it seemed to fit quite well, and it seemed like quite good value rather than buying OEM. So I don't know. It depends. Now, I wouldn't have thought there'd be that many plastics on the CBR 125R, but
who knows? We can't see.
I suppose it does have a considerable amount of fairing, doesn't it? Yeah. It's a lot. And I do feel sorry for you because that's when you've already spent 400 quid for getting the engine and the gearbox changed, and then another £300 of labour, then another 500 quid for this, another 500 quid for that, or whatever. It's just
when you sit back, you look at it and you go, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice. Derek McBride, good evening to both of you. Thank you for your time and effort doing these videos. Always look forward to watching and listening to what you have to say in them. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, definitely let us know your thoughts in any of the topics that we discuss in whatever videos that we release. Definitely let us know your thoughts in the chat or in the comments. Because I mean, the attitude that we have is that this is a community. It's not something that is dictated
it's not us and them.
No, absolutely not. No, these projects and this enthusiasm is for the community's sake. So yeah,
and we learn a lot from you guys.
It's crazy. Yeah. The amount of wisdom that there is within the motorcycle community is just crazy. Yeah. And there's a lot to learn for sure. And I like to have an open mind and open ears for anyone that is more knowledgeable than I am, because why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of respect for people that know what they're talking about.
That's it.
For sure. Mark, I can supply stickers for the logo for people for cars or bikes, free of charge or donation to Goblins. Oh, mate, no, it's okay, it's all right. I appreciate the offer, Mark, but no, I don't want you to go through that, or your wife. So, but I do appreciate the gesture. Thank you. Yeah, it's really kind of you. Derek McBride, I'll stick one of them on my bike and promote the channel. No, guys. Oh, you're too nice to us, honestly. Too nice. Oh, Mark, check your Instagram. This is where we're going to see the Beagle puppy, isn't it? Have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen the Instagrams?
No, I waited.
No. Let's have a look.
I could have done. I was like, oh, but I was like, wait.
Oh, it's so cute.
I must see closer.
Oh, so sweet. So sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, 125 guy, you paid £800 for her last year as well. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
That's annoying, isn't it? Look. He's not going to know. No, stop it. Just show the dog the picture. 125 guy, nope, never going to scrap her. I'm happy to spend on her because I love the bike. Well, there you go. That's what you said, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know if I have that much attachment, to be honest. I don't know. I could be wrong. When I'm in that
Okay.
situation, I might be like, oh,
I think if
I
it came
really,
down
really want
to it,
that.
and they were like, it's going to cost X amount to fix a ZZR, and I go, just scrap it and get a new one. I think the chances are high you'll divorce me than scrap that bike. Genuinely, I don't think you'll scrap that bike. If it came to it, I don't think you would, because you love that bike. And it's your bike and it's your
don't
way.
know. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I
don't know what I would do. Well, speaking from the way how I feel right now about it, I'd be more tempted to buy a new one and spend the money on a new one, maybe something that is actually newer, less miles, things like that, because that's a perfect opportunity to do it. But then again, though, if you're getting the engine changed and everything, you're basically paying for a new bike anyway.
With the utmost respect, I do not believe you.
Well, that's the way I feel about it right now. But
I think the fact that you're not in that situation, it's really easy to be like level-headed about it and be like, this is what I'll do, be fine.
Yeah.
But when you're in that situation and someone goes, you can't get this 2016 ZZI anymore, scrap it, you're going to go, I don't want to.
Yeah. Can't really argue with that.
But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But don't do it to spite me.
No, of course not. Oh, call on. I see a fair amount of fairing for any version of the CBR 125 just on a quick Google search. Interesting. Okay. It's quite funny, actually, because, when I've looked at fairing for the ZZR in the past, it's not a lot around. Well, there is, but you know how it is. You want to try and do things as cheaply as possible, and when something isn't quite in your price range, then there's not a lot of options available. But I suppose, if you're spending over 500 quid, then that's where you're going to find all the options, isn't it? So yeah, very interesting. But thank you ever so much, all of you lot, for your message in the chat. Honestly, you guys are too kind. You really are. You're too kind to us. And yeah, we really appreciate it. We do. And I mean, we will find a way at some point of saying thank you. And
we will.
Providing, doing our own gesture to you guys, for sure. Because I mean, this wouldn't be a thing without you.
We just sit here and talking to ourselves, and that's not fun.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without you guys. I mean, I remember the very first live show that we ever did. I think maybe one or two people watched it, and they just watched bits of it. And to have our own little community now, that always there every single Thursday, always there, always telling us how they're getting on, what they're up to, what bikes they're on, and what they're doing.
And like
I think it's just fantastic.
We've kind of like started joining your journeys.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
so like
exactly.
Talking about Ruby and Sapphire and finding out what's going on with the bikes and the accidents
and Beagles.
And like someone's had an accident.
Yeah,
we're just checking in, or
it's wonderful.
It's
wonderful.
It's nice to be part of something that that you helped create.
And the community is growing as well. Every single week it grows, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So yeah. So thank you again ever so much, especially Mark125 guy, Derek. Yeah, you guys are far too kind. Call on. Yeah, you guys are awesome, seriously awesome. So and I hope that because I try every single week. I try to give a shout out to everyone that puts a message in the chat. So I hope that that's a way of communicating our appreciation as well. So. And I want to try and keep doing that as much as I can for as long as I can. So, yeah.
But if you're there, say hi.
I'll tell you what. One last little thing, just before we sign off. I got a question for everybody.
Include me.
Yeah, and you as well.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, obviously, we have our goals, we have our aspirations, we have our ideas of where we want to take the channel and what we want to do. But what do you think is it that is drawing people to our channel to begin with? Because the reason why I'm asking this is because I want to kind of know how we can improve the content. I'm always looking to improve stuff wherever I can. And if I can get a better idea of what people actually want to see and the way it's done, but people want to see kind of more of something in particular, whether that be a certain type of video, whether that be a certain type of bike, whether that be a certain this, a certain that, just to kind of help us along a little bit in which direction we can go in. So we're not like betraying anybody, we're not leaving anyone behind, so we're constantly evolving and constantly making stuff better.
Yeah.
And more in line with what our community wants to see, I think is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, we want to make sure the content's engaging still, and it's not regurgitating old stuff.
Well, there is that issue as well. But no, I mean, what do you think? What do you think it is?
What, that draws people to the channel?
Yeah. Because I can't see this from your perspective.
I don't think.
So why is it that you guys are kind of joining our community? What motivates you to join our community? What did you see that made you think this is a good community to be a part of?
I don't know if I should answer. I don't know if I'm too biased.
I know what you mean. That's why I'm asking, because I don't know.
I think there's certain things about you which I think draws people in. I think you're very honest, and you're very you're not opinionated in things that you say. Like you try to be honest about stuff, and you have a nice presenting style as well, and obviously nice to look at, so that helps. But I just think you as a person, you what's the word I'm looking for? As you present yourself well. You come across as someone who's quite level-headed, and you don't you're never like, I hate this bike and I hate this. You're very much like, this is how I feel, this is my opinion. If I'm wrong, guys, you tell me.
Yeah.
And you're quite open as well.
Well, yeah, that's I don't know, because I don't know if I'm hypercritical of myself sometimes, but sometimes I can be opinionated. I don't like it. But, when I've said this, and I do it sometimes in videos where I'm in editing them, and then I say something that actually I'm like, no, I don't mean that. But it's only after the fact is when I realise it, kind of on reflection, that I didn't mean that.
But at least you listen back to something and go, okay, actually, I didn't like that, as opposed to not accepting change, if you know what I mean. It's very real. But like you say, you are quite critical of yourself. Like you'll come in from video and go, didn't like that.
Yeah.
Not using that, didn't like it. Because you are, it's that, I hate the phrase, you give 110%, but you do.
Yeah.
I hate that phrase.
Yeah, no,
it can't be 110.
I don't like that phrase either.
But you see the goal and you're like, that's the end. Let's go to here though.
Yeah.
Let's really go above and beyond what you want to do. And I think for me, that's what draws me to someone when, like some of the YouTubers I watch, for instance, I get drawn in by their presenting style, by the way that they're not fake towards the viewer, towards the whole thing. It's very real.
Yeah.
And I like on the viewers things that I watch. So let's just take Call Me Chris as an example. One of my favorite YouTubers. She's very much like, each time you see something, you get to know her a bit more. And you're not guarded, you're not closed off. You're letting people get to know us.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's interesting because I watched a video recently about, because if you're a content creator, then you want to know what makes YouTube tick, what makes social media tick. And there's a lot of really helpful channels that kind of describe the best way to do things, or they give you tips and they help you. And I've got a lot of really good information out of some of these content creators. But there was one I watched recently. It's from a channel called Film Booth, I think it was. And he basically was saying about how, and this is something I haven't done yet, and I think actually it's a really good idea, how he created a list of goals that he wanted his content to achieve.
Right.
So he would have a list of, something like, did this make the viewer's day better? Did this... Not. I can't remember exactly what the list was, but it was something along the lines of... he would try to produce a video that would cater to all of the things that he wanted to portray.
Oh, Right. Okay.
What his goals were.
Like a checklist for each video.
Basically, yeah. So does it do this? Check. Does it do that for the viewer? Check. Does it do this for the community? Check. And he realized that, and this was a list of about 6 things.
It's not
that he had.
loads,
So,
really.
No. He just had some general goals that he wanted his content to do. Did it help other content creators? Things like that. Does it help content creators? And he figured out that when he was critical about his work and when he was reflective on it, he realized that he only ever would achieve one of those goals.
Oh.
So basically, the video that I watched was about him actually recalibrating. He's going to stop producing content for a while and recalibrate how he does things, which I thought was really, really interesting. And I think there's a lot to take away from things like that, where if we create a list of goals that we try to achieve with each video, then hopefully it'll keep us on point and it will keep us going in the right direction,
Yeah.
And I mean, the things that I try to do just off the top of my head is, one, try and entertain viewers as much as I can. Entertain viewers. Show viewers that, that motorcycles are amazing. Just in general, motorcycles are amazing. I don't care what bike it is. Motorcycles are amazing. Show the viewers that specific bikes can be amazing if they have a bad stereotype, or if their stereotype is kind of like, it's too much or something like that. To change the way how people think of something, to convince people that actually, it's not quite as insane as it might look. Something like that. Changing just normal people's views of riding as well. People that think, riding a motorcycle is really dangerous. And it's like, it's not. It's only as dangerous as the rider makes it. Things like that. These are the kinds of things that I try to incorporate with videos and try and explain to people and try and, educate people, And I mean, there are probably loads of other things that I think about whenever I'm editing a video, whenever I'm thinking of a video idea, or whenever I'm trying to produce something, that this is what the goal of this video is.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the back of my mind that's what I'm thinking, but I've never written it down.
Yeah.
So
worth a try.
yeah, it's interesting. Let's see what you guys think. Yeah, call on. Yeah, it's already international. I'm evidence of it. Yeah, and I've said this before as well about how our American viewers, I really value American viewers because they make up something ridiculous. Like 50% of our viewership comes from America. It's crazy. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful that the content that we produce is attractive to an American audience, because you know how it is, when between us across the pond, we have cultural differences and the way we communicate certain things is different. And the fact that it translates, that motorcycle related content, motorcycle communities can translate across the pond, I think it's insane. It's wonderful.
You're saying that you do certain things, you hope that videos tick certain boxes.
Yeah.
When it comes to the reaction videos, because that's my baby, I don't edit them in thinking about what we've seen. It's the little things that happen around.
Yeah.
So for you guys who have seen last week's, the dog sneezed in my face twice.
Yeah.
At that time, before I started editing it, I completely forgot that happened. And then I was sitting there editing it, and you were editing another one, weren't you? And I started laughing, like belly laughing. I was crying, and you were asking what it is, weren't you? And as I went back and I slowed it down, you could just see the dog sneezing. And that's why
you just see the mist.
Yeah. and that's why I enjoy editing those. It's not necessarily the reactions, and I know that there's reactions all over the internet, but it's because of him, or it's because of the things that happen. And that's what makes me laugh. And I think that just gives another side of us. Yeah. And that's what I like, that human side of our channel.
Well, I think Mark puts it in perfect words here. He says, it's real life, simple as that. No bull crap companies trying to throw things down your throat. I've also met a few good guys through this as well. Just gutted I stay too far north to do the meetups. That's what it is. We're trying to be not fake with anything that we do is trying to be as real and as honest as possible.
We're not getting paid by Kawasaki to ride their bikes.
No,
we're not getting paid
not.
by Icon to wear their helmets.
No, absolutely not.
We're just doing it and saying what we think is right and how we feel.
But as long
sometimes.
as that's the thing. As long as it benefits someone. I mean, well,
Yeah.
we said this last week, didn't we? As long as it benefits someone, then as far as I'm concerned, we've done a good job. And if it benefits a larger group of people, then
Amazing.
we've done an even better job.
Mm.
And
I mean, I have my own goals for the channel, which are different to your goals. Well, I think they do come in line, but there's more goals that I'll be taking on and more goals that you'll be taking on. But yeah, to know that we've brought people together is nice.
yes, and I mean, just to kind of, what's the word?
Conclude?
No. Oh my god, this has been happening so much recently. Right? There's a word that I know I have in my repertoire, but it's not coming out. Address to address what Mark has said at the end there. Just gutted I stay too far north to do meetups. Well, my idea is to have multiple meetups throughout a year in different places. That's what I would like to do. So people from all across the country can join in, and it gives them the opportunity to join in. That's something that further on down the line I would like to start doing. Maybe when we have a bigger community.
But it's in our heads again. It's something
Yeah,
that we've got
exactly.
as an idea.
I mean, the thing is that
sitting
I don't want to be organising meetups and then I go somewhere and then no one's there.
Yeah.
You know, so it has to be at the right time when we start doing that. But that time is coming, and it's coming quickly. I think it's coming quicker than we realise.
Than we thought it would happen.
So
wouldn't it?
yeah, it's definitely on the cards sooner rather than later for sure. So yeah, you won't get left out. I don't want any of our viewers to get left out of something if I can help it. No, absolutely not.
That's right, isn't it?
So yeah. Oh, Derek, I have to be honest. I came across you through looking for videos on the ZZR 1400 and came across your channel and have been enjoying it since. Thank you.
That's nice.
Thank you. Because that is one thing as well that I think a lot of the viewership comes from that motorcycle. The ZZR is a fantastic motorcycle. A lot of people like enjoying or like looking at information and looking at videos about that particular bike. But it's nice to have a viewer that actually sees past the bike and they see what else we're able to do. Because that's the hardest part for me. That's the hardest part when I'm trying to produce a particular type of content that isn't around that motorcycle, that isn't related to the ZZR. How we can make it successful, and so that's a challenge that we're constantly working on all the time. So hopefully we're getting there, but yeah, that remains to be seen. Mark, improves mental health. Yes, it does. I'm an example of that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Again, just one of those benefits that a lot of people don't think about. You know. Helps me for sure. Very therapeutic.
When I came in the other day, I was buzzing, wasn't I? I was like so happy.
Yep. And the crazy thing is as well is that even when you've had a bad day at work and you know that you're going to go home on your motorcycle, it just changes my perspective of the entire day. It makes me happy again.
I'm determined to take my bike to work next week.
Well, the thing is, it means then that if I've had a bad day at work, I'm not bringing it home.
Yeah.
You know, I'm leaving it on the road, and I
benefits everyone then, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. That's something else. But anyway, yeah. Thank you again ever so much, everyone, for everything that you said, and yeah, it's just wicked. And there are no words, guys. That's the thing. Yeah, it means a lot, and I cannot describe the elation, the way I feel about all this.
So for those who I don't know, we were watching Gabriel Iglesias, stand-up comedian, amazing. Watch him, absolutely incredible on Netflix.
He's on Netflix, yeah.
And I said to you, I wonder what it's like when you say a joke, and then the whole audience starts repeating it.
Yeah,
or
they know the joke.
They'll finish it off for you.
Yeah.
And I think this
Martin!
But this is kind of that support, not like to that extent yet, but you have that support where you're having a selection of people who are so interested in what you're saying and they're so brought into it that they're supportive from day one.
Yeah.
And I think it must be like a snippet of what that feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
think
yeah, watch
so.
Gabriel Iglesias if you can. So funny.
Yeah, Gabriel Iglesias. Yeah, he's
funny.
brilliant.
Mark said he's hilarious. Yes,
Yeah.
watch the new one if you haven't already. So good.
Yeah, it's a brand new one on Netflix.
And also Aloha Fluffy, which is one like we can't find to watch anywhere, is also on Spotify. So you can listen to it.
Yeah.
But don't do what I do, actually go into discography, because I've listened to it all out of context now. And I have to start again. So it's weird. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So thank you for that, and thank you for your input in the question that I proposed. I mean, I might do a poll at some point and
idea.
ask about what kind of content people like to see and what they want to see more of.
Yeah.
Do they want to see more of the wifey or what have you? Things like that.
No one wants to see me.
Of course they do. Of course they do, without a doubt. Yeah. yeah, definitely. But anyway.
I'm a once a week delight.
Well, twice a week because you're in the reaction videos as well.
Oh yeah, true.
So, well, and in the live show clips as well.
Oh yeah,
So.
I'm everywhere. I forget what I said. I'm everywhere.
Anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching today's show, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that at least we've helped you with whatever, put a smile on your face or something.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm lost for words right now. Sorry.
Right.
I'm absolutely lost for words. So, which is rare for me.
Yeah. I can attest to that.
Anyway, yeah. Thank you ever so much for watching. The wifey and I are gonna have some dinner.
Yeah.
So
let's do that.
yeah, we're gonna do that now, and yeah, chill.
Yeah. Play some Assassin's Creed, I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
Anyway,
well,
yeah, thank you ever so much again for watching. Take care. We've got another video coming out tomorrow, as always. So hopefully we'll see you then. If not, hope you have a good weekend.
Hope the weather
We'll
holds for you.
see you all next week. Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
the weather is getting better for those of you that are in the UK at the moment. Because yeah, weather's been poor, but it's hopefully it's going to get better. But
yeah.
anyway, yes.
Right
wifey.
safe. I was waiting for you to stop so I can say it.
I got to point to you like, wifey, it's your cue.
Yeah. Hold the card up.
Yeah, I need to push a button or something for a thing to come up. Anyway, yeah, thank you again. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Oh, Derek, 125. That's how I found the channel. Also, friendly and very down to earth content.
Oh,
See,
that's
that's so sweet. Yeah.
obviously doing something right.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Yeah. Well, I just hope though that just being upfront with people, and because that's the thing with a lot of YouTube, smaller channels anyway. A lot of it is clickbait and rubbish, and it's like I want to be able to attract people to the channel with nice looking thumbnails or intriguing thumbnails, but I don't want to mislead people.
You don't want to lead them astray. It's what the content's about.
And sometimes you do. I have found myself running close to that line where I'm thinking, what is that actually representative of what the video is about?
But you're realising that, and you're making the change.
Well, yeah.
You're not going down that route.
It's like when I'm thinking of thumbnail templates or thumbnail ideas. I got to think to myself, well, what's striking? What's going to draw people's attention? But at the same time, it's on point and it's about something specific and it's relevant.
Yeah.
Mark, Derek, just do it. Switch to the ZZR.
We'll wear him down.
Fair play. Well, he's on a ZX6R at the moment. That's
Yeah.
a pretty sweet bike as well. So. $70 views in total.